Yeah, just moving on to Rangers. There's a lot of transfer stuff as per usual. One of the big things that has come out in the last couple of days is Calvin Bassey to Brighton. It's looking like that could potentially go ahead. You and I have spoken before, I think, about his potential to play, properly in the Premier League. Do you think? Do you think that Brighton is a good fit for him?
I think going there and learning a particular style of play under the likes of De Zerbi, what he's looking for, will only bring him on. I think obviously the Premier League is the place to be. I always knew that he was an excellent player, a little bit rough around the edges, but that's because he's young. He was still learning. He was a bit rash at times, especially with the ball. I thought actually going over to Ajax would help him because technically that's what they're all about. It's not quite worked out at this moment in time. That's not to say that he won't stay there, but if he was to move on, I think he does tick a lot of boxes coming into the Premier League with his pace, his power, that sort of thing. And he can be moulded, he can be shaped easily enough if he's given the time to learn under a good manager as well and he's coached well. I think he can become a very, very good football player. So just because something doesn't quite work out for you doesn't mean that that's the end of the road. I think Brighton could be a good move for him if he doesn't feel it's staying at Ajax.
Yeah, that makes sense. And, people always say Brighton don't really tend to get their transfers wrong either. So they must see
That's
something
a great point. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last one that really didn't work out or a player that they didn't bring in to then move on for serious money. So the recruitment team work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and just also on kind of former Rangers players, we've obviously spoken at great length about the Tillman deal falling through. Supposedly, Bayern think they can get around 10 million for him if they are to sell him this summer. Obviously, pretty much double what they were asking for from Rangers in that buy option. Do you think he's worth that amount of money at the moment?
I wouldn't say at this moment in time. I think there's so much potential within him. I think for one so young, what he has shown, we've seen it, and I wouldn't say saying flashy seems as if it's not enough because it did show more than that, to be quite honest with you. I just wanted to see it more consistently, but with the age he is, you get inconsistent performances. Was he worth 5 million-ish if Rangers were to get? Yes, I think so, because there is a lot of improvement there. There's no doubt about it. The manager really liked him. 10 million at this moment in time, I think it's a lot of money. For Rangers or Celtic to be spending that kind of money, you're looking for not the finished article, but someone that's really ready to go and you can kind of hang your hat on, you can rely on. He will get there. I've no doubt about it. But I think 10 million is a lot of money at this moment in time for Rangers to spend.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when, there were question marks over the 5 million price point as well. It's like you're not going to spend double that.
No way. I mean, that would completely probably blow most
anything else out the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you think the players that have left Ibrox, you have to then bring people in to fill those gaps, and he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and just looking at other potential outgoings, Yanis Hadji seems to be attracting a bit of interest from a club in Italy, Lecce, I think, as well as seemingly Galatasaray, Espanyol. He obviously had a really tough time with his injuries, looking to come back to Rangers next season, hopefully firing. But could you see them moving him on at the moment?
It would be, there's a question mark there, definitely. I mean, I think you look at the players that the manager's brought in, he's went kind of heavy offensive with some of his recruitment. Hadji, yes, he had a kind of stop-start season with a serious injury that kind of didn't allow him to play as much football as he wanted, but you still think at this moment in time, he's probably been knocked down the pecking order a little bit with some of the recruitment. So I think if there is a possibility, I'd like to see him stay. I think he gives you something a little bit different. That being said, you've got the likes of Cantwell and people like that can play those positions. So if they did get a reasonable offer in, I think they would listen to it.
Mm-hmm. He's still contracted until 2026 as well. So I suppose there's no real rush. It's not like a now or never kind of situation. They do have that option there, I suppose, if their asking price isn't met as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's still a very good age. He's got a lot of room to improve. I think that's what the manager likes. He likes people that are versatile, that are fluid, can move and play different positions. He ticks that box. So I don't think he'll be in any hurry move anyone on that's got that sort of technical ability. But again, as we know, money talks. You see, like Jota and things. If something comes in that's worth listening to, then I'm sure they will.
Yeah, don't worry, we will come on to Jota because I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you about that. But yeah, just before we move on to Celtic, obviously Rangers have done a fair bit of business already, and Michael Beale has said he's looking for, I think, another 3 signings before the end of the window. They've obviously strengthened an attack a little bit. They've got the goalkeeper in. Where else do you see, if it was to be 3 signings, where else do you think they need additions?
I mean, I think they'll look at centre half, to be honest. I've got a feeling he might go to 3 at the back. Look, I could be miles out. I've just got a feeling with the kind of players he's signing, like Sterling. Obviously, Goldson's going to play. You've got Suter that's come onto a game. I think you need one more in there to compete with other boys that are there. Possibly a midfielder, where obviously the boys that he's lost, Stephen Davis, Arfield, these kind of guys are going to have to bring somebody in. So it'll be interesting because, as I said, I think he has went heavy up front. Obviously, there's still a couple that he's looking at potentially at number 9. So I think they'll probably be within that kind of remit that we're talking. So maybe a defender, a number 9, and a midfielder he's probably looking at.
Yeah, he's doing well so far, though.
Fair play to him. No, he spoke about this. He said that he wants everybody in as soon as possible. He knows he's got a massive challenge on his hands next season. We know that. Celtic won the treble. He needs to try and wrestle some of their trophies back, and to do that, he needed to get X amount out, which he has done, and the players that he wants in to really work with them to get his ideas across. Yeah,
definitely. It'll definitely be exciting next season because, moving on to Celtic, they are obviously have lost Jota. I mean, it all kind of happened really fast and it kind of came out of nowhere. But what do you make of it all?
I must admit, I thought it was kind of people were at it when I first heard about it. So I was getting a couple of messages from friends and stuff saying, what do you think? That they're hearing Jota's leaving. Do I think he'll go? It's things like this. Obviously, Celtic supporters, but my friends, I was like, no chance. It's just rumour. And then it started with the club's got the wrong Jota. It's a different Jota. And it was these sort of things. And then all of a sudden, it was just there. It came really, really quickly. I understand personally from his point of view, the money that's over there, the superstars that are going over there at this moment in time, I get it. There's a huge transfer fee. I think Celtic bought him for $6.5 million. So to even get 25 in and have to give 30% to Benfica, it's still worth it. And I'm pretty sure Brendan Rodgers would have wanted to have kept him. But that being said, I'm sure he's got replacements lined up. And if he can reinvest that money, then he'll be happy.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think everyone is kind of saying, you know, he was offered what I think it was something like 10 million a season he's getting in wages, tax free. It's just like, honestly, you can't. I mean, imagine telling someone that you've turned that down. It's just, you can't.
I know, and there's always going to be pros and cons. I think when you look at what's happening over there, there's going to be people for it, people against it. People thinking you're just going for the money. And look, and some people will be open and honest and say, well, yes, that is why I'm doing it. I mean, I stayed there for 5 years. I can look after my family, my family's family, and it's a short career. So from that point of view, I understand it. The flip side to that is, are you playing at a high level? Yes, there's some superstars going over there. You can't say they're coming towards the end of their career, but there's definitely a light being shone on that league now, and big money. So it's hard for people to turn down.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that was also something I was wondering is, do you think Jota has the potential to go over there? I think it's like a 3-year contract or something. Go over there, play really well, and still get a move to, for example, the Premier League or one of the other top European leagues in the future?
I tell you, it's a real interesting question. It's a good question, actually, because the fact is I don't know. Because, yes, they'll go over there. He's at a good age where he's got a lot of football left. If you look at the other boys that are getting signed over there and signed 2-3-year contracts, they're maybe 32, 33, so that might be their kind of farewell. But we've not really seen yet a younger player to go there, to stay for 2-3 seasons, to see what it's actually like. Is it a difficult league? Is it an easy league? Is he going to go over there and score 40 goals a season? We don't know. And then how does the other leagues look at it and say, right, well, he's done well over there, but can he actually hack it in the Premier League, for talking sake? So time's going to tell, but look, he's definitely got the ability to raise his game to that level. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be an interesting one to watch.